This is Vicki Baird, and you're listening to Intuition, Your First Sense. This episode is going to be a little different than others I've done. This is actually material that I had put on a Facebook Live, and it just flowed so organically, and I get a little passionate towards the middle. And I thought that it would be nice to share it with the podcast listening audience because it's had some great feedback, and it also is what I consider a truth talk. So now we all have our own truth, so I can't say what your truth is. But this is what I was feeling at the end of a long week, and just felt like it could bring some clarity to this epidemic and the time that we're in right now with the coronavirus. And while I don't want to completely focus on that, we can't ignore it. We have to address it and what we're going through and process as we're going through it, or we're going to get hit with some pretty big spiritual and emotional whiplash after the fact. So I hope you enjoy. Please subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of it, and I do hope that you're doing well. And here you go. Enjoy. Go up and check in and see how things are going, and to kind of do my part in reminding you about your energy vibration, and to ask how you're doing. Can I help in any way? This last week and a half has felt like, I feel like I'm setting up bowling pins constantly. Like, and there's a ball coming at me and I'm setting him up again. And then there's another ball coming at me and I'm setting him up again. So the people who actually had to do that back in the day, that must have been frustrating. So maybe you're feeling that way too. I hope you're finding some humor in all of this situation. And I also wanted to just talk about some of the things that I'm noticing. So, because I was feeling a little bit exhausted today, and the energy that will happen, right? There's a lot of stuff that's happening externally for us, a lot of frustration, perhaps, doesn't have to be, but energetically, things are popping so fast. I feel like the earth has expanded, like, and she just keeps, like, an 11-year-old boy just growing out of the jeans you just bought him. And it's good if you're outside, if you happen to be out walking around, or see if you can tap into this energy. The sky right now is absolutely alive with energy. It's fascinating. I almost fell on my face the other day because I was paying more attention to the energy than I was paying to the to where I was walking. So, we're all affected by that, and it's exciting. And I didn't want to sound like like I was being disrespectful to the challenges people were going through, but I also want to be truthful about what I see and what I feel about this energy and this time that we're in. And I do feel excited. I feel like we are, if we're allowing ourselves to look at what we'd like to change, what we'd like to expand in our own life, we are smack in the middle of, think of it as having an extra stream of power that's going to your cord that's giving you a little bit of boost. So talk about a time for manifesting. If you'd like to create some change in your life, relationship, finances, work, emotional, spiritual, all of that, really is on the table right now. It always is, but it seems to have a bit more of an amplification right now. And that also leads to the feeling of a bit more anxiousness. So check in and make sure that it's not excitement about this time. So some of the things that I've been hearing about and noticing
in clients, friends, myself, is there's a lot of a feeling of cleaning out. And that's not only because we might be home more. I mean, my work schedule is picked up, not let go, but uh, so it's not that all of us have more free time. Some of us have less because we're also now homeschooling parents. And I shouldn't say us because I'm not that, but there's some message of this is the time of resting and going within and spending contemplation and watching TV and all that stuff. I got to tell you guys, it's not. Energetically, what I'm feeling is that while we always need to balance that stuff, this is a time you want to be looking at your stuff. And I hesitated about saying anything. I didn't want to seem like it's always the coach mode of get things done. It's not how I work as a coach, but not everybody knows that. Intuitively, I feel like if people are coasting right now, you're going to spin out at the end. So a little bit of truth talk here. And I don't rule the universe, so I know that what I say isn't go for everybody, but I have a pretty good track record, and I know when I feel these things and I don't pay attention, I end up with a cosmic 2x4. So think of this as my way of saving you from a 2x4. Please don't just coast right now. Take responsibility for your life. Look at an area that doesn't feel like it's in alignment and do something about it. And create a plan around it. Think about it. You don't have to be running a marathon or a sprint or anything like that. You don't have to be running. If you're not looking at it, you are going to wonder what the hell happened when we roll out of this and people have moved forward and industry has moved forward and ways of being. It's interesting that the way of life seems to be moving forward and yet grabbing some joy and some simplicity of how we were maybe a couple decades ago. I feel like that's going to stay for a lot of us. And what I'm seeing and feeling is that if people are just going to coast through this thing, your head is going to spin so bad when we're all the rest are moving forward, and it could be emotionally fearful. And so it doesn't take much to avoid that. It simply means like looking at, is there a closet that needs to be cleaned? Whatever you've been talking about, I'm going to get to that. So you're going to list. You want to be looking at it and you want to be applying yourself right now so that in another 5 or 6 weeks, when the energy shifts again, you're not sitting there like you just got a concussion, because energy affects everybody. And whether we want to pay attention to it or not, and maybe you'll want to blame it on someone else, but I'm telling you right now, that is not going to work anymore. The shifts that are happening are large paradigm shifts. They're not the little itty bitty baby ones that we've been used to where you feel a little inconvenienced or you can ignore what you weren't paying attention to. So a lot of people are looking at their childhood. They're looking at stuff that didn't resonate and doesn't resonate with them. And maybe some of this space is helping you realize that some of the crap that you've put up with or some of the relationships that you've participated in just no longer resonate for you, and that's okay. But you want to be doing the contemplation now so that when there might be some who think we just go back to status quo and acting like we were acting before. This is a grow up time. And, I could placate you and say, absolutely, just spend this time finger painting and meditating and all that stuff. That's not what this energy is about. And I feel like I had a little conversation with myself and I felt like if this annoys people, oh well, because I would feel worse not saying what I was seeing when so many people depend on that than playing it safe and really dialing back and saying, yes, just do self-care right now. No, it's not what it's about. You can balance it out. After this, I will be incommunicado until Sunday morning because I just need a break. Energetically, emotionally, spiritually, physically. downtime. So I'm not saying that we have to go, 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 go. I don't think that would work either. But light a fire under your own ass. You just, if you don't, it's going to feel a bit traumatic when we roll out of this. And that's coming from an expansive standpoint. So, what about this time has been coming up? Like, what have you been noticing about yourself that you might want to shift? So, a lot of people have said to me that I've been working with have said that they don't have time to move because it's really important that we do that too. We can't let the toxins of the energy build up in our system. I don't care how you move, but you got to move. And I challenged somebody and said, really, you used to have an hour and a half commute. You got an hour and a half commute to your living room? I don't think so. Get out there, do something, take half that time. Make sure that you're committing to your physical self. All the gyms, almost all the gyms are doing online right now, free live video. You know how to do a sit up. You remember those from days gone by, right? Do a couple of those. You got to move right now. If the physical body does not get some attention, it's going to lock up energetically as well. And I just don't want to see that for you. And you can ignore me. That's fine. I'm okay with that. The thing that's also happening that I'm seeing is people are looking at what did they want to learn. This part's so exciting to me because they're thinking, oh, I did want to learn how to play the guitar. I did want to learn how to read oracle cards. What was the other? Shoot, I'm not going to remember it. But I was talking to somebody the other day, and what they were learning to do. It was something along the lines of like stained glass. I'm not going to describe it well anyway, so I won't spend time on it. But stuff like that. So many people are doing puzzles now. So this is a bringing back. This is what I mean by bringing back some of what we used to do to enhance where we're going. So that's a focused meditation. It's a fun thing, and hopefully it's a collective thing. So we don't have to change everything, but please don't be the one standing on the side of the road when the bus goes by, because it could be a long walk. It could be very frustrating. The feelings that are coming up that you haven't been acknowledging, and maybe this is because you're spending more time with yourself. You know, the journaling, the writing it out. It's really cathartic to write something out and then shred it or burn it. If it's something that you don't want left around, get rid of it. You're going to be tired. I really feel like some of this energy expansion is a bit like when we went through the birth canal, but we don't remember it, thankfully. It feels like that to me. It feels like there's an intense pressure, a lot of the times on the top of my head, that we're just growing and we're dilating, for lack of a better word, our canal that we're moving through. So, I think there's a reason we have amnesia around that process, because who wants to remember that? But that is what we're going through right now, and it's fantastic. It may not have come through a delivery method that we necessarily wanted, but it's here. So, use it, take advantage of it. And you're going to feel tired. You're going to have to rest. Think of it as contractions, right? The contractions come through, we push, and then we need to rest. And then we push, and then we need to rest. And this is, it is for our good. It is for our not putting up with the old ways of settling, or just becoming numb to, or ignoring it, or becoming too materialistic, and getting back into the appreciative space. And I said to someone today who just wanted to be angry, she's like, I just want to be angry. And I'm like, well, that's your choice. You can be angry, but that's such a waste of energy, to be angry at situations that you can't stop the virus. Well, you can help, but you can't control other people. You can't stop it. So to put your energy there, or to put your energy in being angry because someone's acting that way, that is a waste of your universally your soul given energy. So redirect that, point that compass to something else. Give it a give it another outlet. Give it something that it can be pointed towards, so that you don't end up holding on to all that angry energy. And you're a magnet, remember. You will draw to you what you are giving off. And to that point, if you're giving off enough energy towards anger, you can give off the energy towards healing, towards helping to raise the vibration. All you people who put in love and light on your posts every time something happens, well, why don't you channel some of that light? Why don't you bring some of that in, and why don't you send it out? Because just using this or these for in love and light, I didn't think I was this wound up. I thought I was really tired, but hey, isn't going to help anything. Use that energy and send it to the earth. Send it to your loved ones. Send it to those that can help, who are on the front lines, or send it to the monkeys in Peru. I don't care where you send it, but use your energy effectively. If not, zip your lips, because you're just contributing to the frequency that is keeping the vibration of virus alive. Okay? So use your powers for good. Use your energy that you have, that you want to help, and apply it. Be contributing members of society, and stop. Jane, can you stop for just a moment? And stop the perpetuation of frenetic. Okay, so that's an excuse if you're in the anger about what somebody else is doing. Channel that. Give yourself the gift of redirection, so that you can help to feel better about yourself, so that you can bring your blood pressure down, so that you can feel when you roll out of this too, that you've expanded, that you grew, that you learned. Along those lines, structure is really important. I was laughing with somebody the other day. I have the best clients. I was laughing the other day, and I said to her, "Did you brush your teeth today?" She's like, "What?" And I said, "Did you brush your teeth?" You know how when you're leaving the house all the time, it's just second nature, right? You just brush your teeth. But if you're home, sometimes on the weekend, you're like, don't think I brushed my teeth yet. Put that in as the structure. And when you're brushing your teeth, do the white light that surrounds you, okay, at the same time. So put some structure in there. Laugh. Watch something ridiculous. I watched the series of The Tick. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's sweet. They want to help, and it's ridiculous at the same time. And you get to take your head off the focus of what's going on. So along those lines, yes, there are a lot of souls passing. There are going to be a lot more souls passing. And this may be an unpopular perspective, but I truly believe that we all have a soul contract. And in that soul contract, we pass when we pass, with the exception of suicide, where that contract is rewritten by the person who feels the need to take their life. So the people who are passing, if we could honor them, because they're helping to raise the vibration of the universe. Can we help to not perpetuate it? Yes. But we also need to remember that every soul came in for their own journey. So as much, we can't say that the souls that participated in 9/11 or the souls who participated in World War II or any of those other times, we hold them up and are grateful for the teachings and respect their soul, if we're not willing to apply it to real-time situations. So with so many passing at once, it does create a grief level that can be difficult to process. And it raises the vibration of frequency on this planet of love, of mm, helpers on the other side. It raises the vibration of collective consciousness. They're all helping. And while I'm, as a human, torn between the absolute anger that I want to be in, and the respect that I have that a soul would be part of that process for the benefit of us. So I also want to, I saw a post where someone said all of these people are passing alone. And this was actually from someone that I consider to be, who considers themselves to be a spiritual teacher. And it was just missed the mark just a little bit, because yes, on a physical sense, they may not have their loved ones in there because of the restrictions. I need you guys to know that there isn't a soul ever who passes alone. The room is completely filled with energies of those who have crossed before. It's completely filled with angelic activity. It is completely filled with this love vibration that our heads just can't wrap themselves around. So I don't want to make it sound like a technicality, but in some ways it is, because there isn't anyone who crosses by themselves. And I feel like if some of us could hold that space of respecting them, but also holding the energy of, I'm so grateful that their loved ones that have crossed were there, and that they were able to be escorted, and that they weren't alone, it could help with some of the sadness that's going on. Okay. And I understand that sometimes I have a less than popular opinion, but I'm also grateful that I know so many of you know this intuitively, and you know it at your soul level, and you're willing to step up and be part of this education too. You don't have to share it with other people, but if you hold it within your knowing, it's going to go out exponentially as well, and that will also help to raise the vibration. So I really wanted to check in and see how you were doing, and I also wanted to say that there is always growth from these experiences, and you've done hard things before. I changed the banner on my website to say, you can do hard things, you are brilliant, because even if someone doesn't work with me, I want them to read that. I want you to know that. I want people to understand that in the times that we are pressurized the most, we tend to grow the most. And we look back on it and think, holy crap, I didn't know I was capable of that. And I did go through it. So I just think it would be nice to be reminded of that in the middle. So this is your reminder that you are absolutely capable of that. I would like to see and hear from you what you're noticing as a benefit of this time. I have definitely noticed that I don't need to go to the store as much as I thought I did. I'm absolutely feeling more intuitive growth, more appreciation for the relationships in my life. I'm also hearing that, people are laughing. Oh my goodness, some of these videos that are going up, the creativity that's happening, the more consistent workouts, the drinking more water, having an awareness that we really didn't need to distract ourselves with so many activities, that we are quite capable of being calm and of appreciating a good book. What books are you reading? You're not reading? You could be reading. Read something. People are really getting into the recipes and the cooking and getting creative that way too. That's fun to see. The music that's being created. let me know and share with others, because maybe that then goes out um, to inspire someone else to do something. The purpose some people are feeling because they're uh, creating masks, or they're being helpful in other ways. We like to be of service. So, what are you learning? What have you expanded? What have you learned about yourself? Maybe you didn't think you were technologically savvy, and all of this stuff is stretching you, and you've really come to a place where you're like, dang, I'm pretty good at this. So share with me. Let me know. And, if there's other ways that I can help, I'm happy to do that. And I hope you have a great Friday. So thank you. Thank you for popping in. You're welcome for the nudge. And I will check with you guys later.
Thank you for listening to Intuition, Your First Sense. As always, please like and subscribe to this podcast wherever you are listening to it. Leave a review and take a minute to share it with a friend. You can find me all across social media at Coach Vicki Baird, and you can book a virtual session with me from wherever you are in the world at vickibaird.com/booking. That's VICKIBAIRD.com/booking. Thank you again, and see you on the next episode.